All right, I'm ready to start the oil change. 2009 Escape. Don't know when the last oil change was done. If it goes by the stickers, it's way overdue. But who knows? May not be overdue. I mean, give it some credit. Let's go. Maybe go ahead and reset the camera and start the oil change. I'm going to point the camera at the hood. You're going to have to rely on this camera to see what I'm doing underneath the car. It's going to be one of those things. So I'm up on jack stands. Come on. So I'm safe to go underneath. Now it's popped. I'm safe to go underneath. I am up on jack stands. Where's my carpet? I have a carpet. I had a carpet. There it is. I have a carpet I lay on. When I get under the car, here in the backyard, rather than laying in mud, I just checked the weather report. It's supposed to rain. 50% chances all afternoon. It might get rained on. Let me see. I'm going to bring with me 13, 14, 15, and 16. I'm not sure what size this is. This is my drain bucket. All right. It's like 13. Yeah, 13. Now, because it's the opposite way, I need to run that the opposite way. Normally, when you loosen something, you go counterclockwise to loosen and clockwise to tighten, or righty-tighty, lefty-loosey type deal. In this case, because I'm driving it that way, I have to drive this in the clockwise direction. Because I'm rolling it out. I'll show you how I double wrench that in a second. Now it's loose, I go ahead and let it fly. Now, it's best to change your oil when it's hot, but then you'll burn your hand. So warm is okay, and it's still warm from when I had it running earlier. I had it running a little while ago when I did the TP stuff, so it's still a little on the warm side, not hot. And we're going to go ahead and let that drain for a while. Alright, now when you get a wrench and you're trying to rotate, and I like to take oil drain plugs off with the wrenches for some reason, I don't know why. But when you're trying to get extra leverage on a wrench, what you can do is take the next size up wrench, or even the next size down usually. You can go pretty high. This is a couple sizes up. It'll still work. But you lock it in like that, and what it does, it gives you a longer wrench to do, and that's what I did to break that free. I just kind of put it on there. But putting it back on, I'm only going to snug it up. There's usually a gasket on these. Yeah, there's a rubber seal right here, and I want to check to make sure it's still pliable, and it is. It's still rubbery. So it doesn't need to be 100 foot-pounds to put that back. And we're going to let that drain a while. Let's see how tight this is. We're going to need a tool. No. And it should be loose enough. When you put an oil filter on, and that will tell you how competent the last guy that did your oil change was, is how this comes off. Because if it comes off very hard, one of two things happen. Either one, they torque the hell out of it to get it on there, or number two, they didn't put any oil on the gasket. And what can happen is it can actually seal itself. You take it off, and the gasket can stick to the block or to the oil flange like this one. And then when you go to put the new one on, you'll have the old gasket and the new gasket if you're not careful. But the problem is, it's called double gasketing. When you start the car up, oil is going to come squirting out between the two, and you'll end up with oil everywhere. So it's always best to make sure that the gasket's not there. When I take the filter off, I'll show you what I do to make sure that the gasket is off. Running pretty quickly. That's good. Let me go get the new filter out of the car and stuff. I've got Quaker State High Mileage Oil 10W30 Synth Blend. Very reasonably priced at Walmart, which is where I buy all my oil. I'm not a promoter of Walmart. I'm just telling you where I buy stuff cheap. $15 for this, I think it was. Can't beat that. $15 for oils. Not bad. I'm going to put that right there. What some people do is they'll take the oil fill cap off and then put it on here. And what that does is it prevents you from dropping the hood with this in the way without putting the oil cap back on. So it's not a bad idea. I don't seem to have that problem, so I'm going to put it there. Some people take this off when they drain the oil because they think it'll drain the oil easier because it won't vacuum lock it up in there. But it's not going to vacuum lock up in there anyways because you got, every engine has a tube like this which brings fresh air, fresh clean air into the engine for the PCV system to work, positive crankcase ventilation. So taking this off really doesn't help because if you had that problem, you're going to have bigger problems than oil not coming out of the system. Much bigger problems. You'll have a problem with oil leaks, large oil leaks, not just these little. This is like an oil seepage. That's not really a leak. It's wet. It's not really a leak. It's just moist. And more than likely, if you look here, if you look at the pattern, that's more than likely messy people pouring oil in. Because how do you get oil up on top of here? Oil goes down, not up. So unless there's something seriously going on there that I don't know about, more than likely that's just what I'll have to do is clean that up and recheck it. All right, oil filter came from Walmart also for $3.95. Motorcraft oil filter. You go to the dealer, it's probably like $9, $10 somewhere around there. You go to freaking Walmart and it's $3.95 for a Motorcraft oil filter. Same oil filter. So if you're buying your oil filters from the Ford dealer, it's a little crazy. Take a look and see how we're doing on that oil drippage. Sometimes you can slide the catch can back when it gets down to a drip like this. Should I fall in the dirt? Slide this back. It's still dripping in the bucket. Go ahead and loosen this oil filter so it starts dripping like that. And now I'm catching the oil from the oil filter, and I'm catching oil from the oil drain bucket, the drain. Probably not going to get much more out of that, but I'm going to let it drip while this drips anyways. Again, it's moist, but not wet. So it's not an oil leak. It could be an accumulation. Somebody could have poured oil in this car and tried to do it without a funnel and got oil everywhere. That's also an oil seep. The difference is when you have an oil leak, you're not going to have dirt and dust building up on it like that and that. You're going to have a nice clean stream of oil and a fresh drip of oil wherever it's coming from. That's the difference between a seep and a drip. All right, let's go ahead and take this off. Should have brought a rag with me. I'm going to turn this over. This oil catch can has a little groove in it right there where you can put the filter and let it drain better. Let me go get a rag so I can touch things again. The way you can tell how good the oil is by the smell. If it's got a pungent smell to it, a very strong, dirty smell to it, then it's probably been a while since it had an oil change. I'm not sure about this car, how the maintenance was on it. Sometimes you can look down the oil fill hole. I'll try that and see how that works. Now, to see if the gasket got stuck up there, what I've done by habit is to put that to that, and I feel it touch the rubber. And just by doing oil changes very quickly, you learn by doing that you don't double gasket. Where the hell is it? I'm trying to keep my head back so you guys can see more. Alright, so what you do is you screw this down until the gasket makes contact, and then make 3/4 of a turn. And that's on. That's all it has to be. You don't need any tools. You don't need any cup wrenches. Now, if you do that correctly, then when you go to change the oil next time, the oil filter should come off easily. Because I put some oil on the gasket. That keeps it from vulcanizing, gluing itself to the block. Which usually when that happens, you have to destroy the filter to get it off. That's what causes that. For this, I just want to snug it down. I'm not going to go crazy, tightening it crazy. I just want to snug it down. That's where I run out of freeze play. Now I'm touching gasket the oil pan. So I just want to torque it a little bit. I want to go crazy. If I have to put a foot-pounds on that, I'd call it 25. Maybe 30, but not too tight. Now, you could use a torque wrench if you're not sure. I've been doing this a while, so I know about where 25 to 30 is, so that's why I torqued it to that. You can always look up torque specs. This time I do, but not for things like oil changes. Alright, take a quick peek at everything else. I got belts for this car too, come to think of it, I think. Is it this car? Maybe the other one. I don't know. I ordered so many parts for that car and this car, I can't even keep track. I may not have ordered a belt. I think I did. Now I ordered belts for the other car. Alright, that's it for draining oil. Slide. Set this aside for now. We'll deal with that later. Throw that in there. Put my wrenches away. 13 was the size. Try to remember that for next time. 13, 14, 15, 16. Funnel. 16. Yeah. That's a clean funnel. Make sure there's nothing in your funnels. Anything in your funnel when you pour it in? Is it raining? Drizzling. Probably gonna need to throw a tarp on my laptop in a second. Alright, I'm not sure how much oil this car takes. I believe it's probably gonna be 4 quarts. I know it's not going to be less than 4 quarts. Yo, that's how messes are made. This is a 5-quart container. It may take all 5 quarts. I don't know. 4 quarts. I find most 4 cylinders take about 4 quarts. 6 cylinders can take 4 or 5 quarts. 8 cylinders leaves 5, 6 quarts. Depending on the car, of course. This transmission. Now the oil filter is empty. You notice I didn't put any in it before I stuck it up there, and you don't have to. Okay, get a start for that. Oh, that laptop. Let me give it another couple minutes. Fill up. So my oil fill level should be slightly higher than my max if it's full. So I'm probably going to have to pour all 5 quarts in. Right now it looks like I'm going to have to, but I'm not going to do it yet because it may take time for it to drain down, depending on how gummed up that inside of the engine is. Yeah, it's not going up any. So where it is right now, it's just above the min mark. That min mark is usually at a quart. Give it another couple minutes. Give it about another minute. Check it again. While I'm doing that, that was a good time. Check the coolant. I'm going to change the coolant one day. Not today. I don't have coolant. I'm going to change the coolant. It's high. Clean. Little clear, but it didn't freeze this winter, so I'm sure it's fine. Brake fluid I'm going to change. Also one day, not today. Check your fluids. Now's a good time to check your fluids. It needs to be flushed. Do that one day. Transmission fluid's going to need to be changed. Not bad though. Actually clean. I'm going to change it anyways. If I'm going to drive this car, I change it anyways. If I'm going to sell this car, I'm going to change it anyways. Belt, I think I have a new one. Yeah, it's not going up anymore. So we got to add another quart. So let's use a 5 quarter. Which is good. The more oil, the better. The more oil, the better. If you have more oil, it will clean your engine better. If you have less oil, it won't clean your engine as much. Your oil has additives in it that's made to clean the engine. Made to clean the engine. If you don't have clean oil, the oil then will bake on all the parts. Take a look at the video where I took apart my 3.1 liter with 170,000 miles on it. That engine was very clean inside. I changed the oil religiously. And I don't mean every 3,000 miles. That's clean. You look right there. Inside this engine's clean. It's good. Good. Happy. I am going to still do my plan of changing the oil in 2,000 miles. I changed the oil religiously. Whenever that oil change light came on, I changed the oil right away. And every time I changed the oil, I looked in the valve cover to make sure it was still clean, and it was still clean, like that one is. I suspect this engine's probably clean inside also. That engine lasted me 170,000 miles until it had an internal defect, a casting defect, that took 170,000 miles to find out. Look at my videos to see that. You'll see it. Right, so you see how we're at our level mark, right at the dot. And don't forget, this is a cold engine, so that's fine. That filter probably doesn't take that much. Let's see how much oil there is right here. That looks more like somebody spilled it. I'm gonna have to clean this off. I'm gonna have to wash this engine off one day and go from there on that one. That's really it for an oil change. I gotta pick up some washer fluid. I gotta get a new nozzle. Oh, the nozzle I hit? I have to get that too. I gotta get a new nozzle for this thing. That one's broken for some reason. I might have to get that. I might have to get this whole assembly. I don't know. I have to see if I can get that out of there. Rubber? No, it's not. See if I can pull that out of there. I'll run a screw in there and see if I can yank it out. But I gotta get some washer fluid in here. I like to get washer fluid in here. I don't have any right now. That's really it for the oil change. Check your fluids. Check all your fluids. Make sure it's clean. Check the transmission fluid. You may have to have it running. It should be on level ground. It shift's fine right now. I'll check it later. I'm gonna change the fluid anyways, so I'm not worried about that. Not today. Don't have the fluid, but I'm gonna change the fluid soon. Trick here is just to get this car on the road. Oh, oil change sticker. That's what I want to talk about. Oil change sticker. get yourself some oil change stickers. I'll put a link. I haven't put it yet. I will put a link in the description below for oil change stickers. I got this off of Amazon. There's like 250 of them here for like 18 bucks. So it's convenient to have oil change stickers. And I'm going to do 2,000 miles for this oil change, which means in about a month. In about a month, I'll do the oil change. Now, the oil change stickers that are up here, 99,000. This is 136,849, so I'm going to do 100. That's the wrong marker. That's the wrong marker. Silver marker. I don't know if I can write on this with it or not. No black marker. Black marker. There it is. So I'm going to do 138. $138,849. I don't think this has an oil change. Monitoring it. I'm going to put a date. I'm driving this thing 500 miles a week. Starting it up. Oil change light went out. 141 miles, still empty. Got about a third of the tank. Letting it run for a few seconds. Shut it off. It's always a good idea to do. Seems to have stopped raining, at least drizzling. No, it's still drizzling. Take a peek underneath, look for any oil. Nothing. Good. Oil change is done. When we come back, maybe about 5 minutes, I gotta go get a tarp to throw over this so it doesn't get all shorted out. I don't need to kill my $1,000 laptop. Give me about 5 minutes to go get that. I'll switch up this description for the video. We're doing struts next. Because of this. It's loose. I think it's this one. One of them is loose. It's either this one or the other one. So we're going to do struts next. But give me about 5 minutes. Dig out the stuff out of the car and go get the tarp to throw over this because we don't need to. I got a fresh tarp I'm going to throw over there so this doesn't kill my laptop. All right, give me about 5 minutes. All right, thanks. Talk to you soon.